Welcome back, wrestling fans, to another exciting episode of the Hard Hitting Wrestling Show. I'm Ovi Muniz, and with me will be Frank Cuesta. And a big shout out to Hector V, who is not with us tonight. Um, Happy anniversary to him and his wife. I think they're celebrating 15 years together. Um, I don't know. Can you hear me? Can you hear me?
I just lost my hearing.
Oh, you lost your hearing. Oh man, don't
But
scare me like that,
we're
man.
good.
All right. I know I'm good. I mean, everything's set over here. You start pointing at your ear, and I'm like, uh-oh, here we go. But once again, big shout out to Hector V and his wife. If I'm not mistaken, they are celebrating their 15th year anniversary. And
Kudos.
what a wonderful moment. By all means, God bless to you both and the whole entire family and everything else. And we'll see you next week as we get set for the road of Bash in Berlin, which is the next premium live event. And speaking about other events that's going on, we have down south, school started, man. And I'm sure that the parents and everybody else is busy, but you cannot be too busy for a little bit of wrestling.
Absolutely not. School, I
Nah.
mean, the school out here hasn't started yet. It starts on Thursday. Now
Mm.
I've been pushing my kid, hey, you got to finish your school report. Come on, you got a couple days left.
Oh
And you go back
man, I
to school.
know. Then the transition of not staying up late anymore and stuff like that. I mean, get to watch WWE Raw all the way till 11 o'clock at night in Eastern time. What else? Staying late watching all these premium live events.
Yeah,
Some of the stuff is gonna be, seized in a lot of YouTube or TikTok or all these follow-ups and stuff. But you know what? You can also follow the HHW Show podcast by visiting our website, hhwshow.com, for the latest blogs and, of course, our latest episodes of our show. But hey, let's go ahead and move on to the number one topic in the WWE that set records across social media, and there's no other than the return of Roman Reigns. Now, I was wrong, man. I was wrong. Okay. And I spoke to people around my local area. I'm sure you have, Frank, and everything else, but I thought, and I had said this before, that I felt like it was too soon for Roman Reigns to appear, right? Maybe to see more of the bloodline without him, but that's not the case. And it was still beneficial. It really has, because the fact that who else could have done an epic maneuver like Roman Reigns did on Saturday at SummerSlam?
no, listen, I thought it was a perfect timing because what you don't want to give the bloodline is an advantage, is a run, is just have all their ducks lining up, and that's when you're really gonna have. I mean, that's how you're gonna have a battle regardless. But then Solo's be like, no, I'm the champ now. Now I'm really the tribal chief. You know what I'm saying? So with Roman Reigns coming out saying, no, 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 you're not gonna get that because that's mine, and I'm the tribal chief. I mean, it sure says it. OTC, original tribal
Original tribal
chief.
chief. Yep, exactly. And listen, he came out and people wondered which direction will Roman Reigns go. And I like how both these superstars were separated in the ring. Solo Cole was on the left, Cody Rhodes was on the right. And when he came in and started doing that shotgun, right? And went ahead and went one blow to Solo Sokoa and then speared him, right? And just stared down Cody Rhodes and walked away. And there's a picture right there of Roman Reigns staring at the ring and seeing in the middle that Cody Rhodes. And I think that stare was really a mutual respect to the American Nightmare.
I beg to differ. I think it was a sign of respect, but it was also saying is, hey, once I'm done handling my business, I'm coming for you.
True, true. But there has never been any bashing from Cody Rhodes at Roman Reigns. He
No,
acknowledges him as the tribal chief. Let's
Correct.
also acknowledge that he defeated the tribal chief. All right. He's 1-1 against him, so there's got to be a tiebreaker.
Well, there will be once Roman Reigns is done with Solo, there will be a tiebreaker. Now, my biggest
I
question is here
Go
is
ahead.
who is going to sign up for Roman Reigns?
What do you mean who's going to sign up for Roman Reigns? You mean who's going to be with Roman Reigns?
Yeah,
Well, I got you. Look at that. I'm glad that you mentioned it because, hey, we have on Raw Jay Uso and Sami Zayn hooking up again. They are already talking about becoming tag team champions.
yes, they are.
However, Sami Zayn has to finish his beef with Braun Breaker because he's already signed up and got approval to have a rematch for the Intercontinental Championship. Now, I think that was a suicidal move on Sami Zayn's part because 2 times that he's wrestled him, Braun Breaker has been dominant in the ring. Braun Breaker was not knowledgeable enough to finish the job. Second time around at SummerSlam, he actually got it done. We
Yeah,
already know that Sami Zayn will not retain the title. It's just not going to happen.
yeah,
The,
yeah.
the, the
He's not
time
going to
is up
retain
for
it.
him. No. But it's good for Braun Breaker. We'll talk about him later. But when we discuss about how we're going to get Roman Reigns back into the Civil War, a lot of people were talking about Sami Zayn's going to help out. The Usos are going to help out. They're going to even the numbers. And then there's also rumors that there are more personnel from the family that's going to appear on in WWE. More signings and stuff like that. Now, those are rumors, those are speculations and stuff like that. I'd rather believe it to see it, right? But I really had thought that besides Roman Reigns, I thought that the bloodline was going to add another person into the family. But then I also said to myself, man, if you add somebody else, that's just too much. Like it gets crowded, and we don't want to look like the NWO.
Yeah, I think four is enough. But who knows? I mean, hopefully they don't do another version of the NWO. Well, when you look at it, this is like another version of the NWO, right? Because you have the original tribal chief, and now you have the tribal chiefs. So you have the original bloodline, and now you have the secondary bloodline.
Right.
So it's the
Right.
second coming of it.
Absolutely.
So NWO black and red and NWO black and white.
And we're probably gonna see a third generation, maybe a 3.0 later on, should like everything succeed in Roman Reigns' favor, that he steps away, and then the main event, Jay Uso becomes a tribal chief.
I hope not. I think I don't think that's gonna happen. I think the tribal chief era is
That's
gonna
a
end
long
with
shot. It's a long shot, right?
yeah.
Um,
I don't see
but
that.
I'm liking it. I really am. And here's that super punch right there that Roman Reigns gave to Solo Sikoa, laid him out, and that gave Cody Rhodes a victory at SummerSlam to retain the WWE Universal Championship title. So, congratulations to that. Let's move on here to the second biggest topic right here is the Judgment Day 2.0. Now, I thought maybe they'll come up with a new name, okay? But eventually, they didn't. But there are new members, a new crowd, and I'm going to ask you this. Finn Balor, he had a strong message to Damian Priest and explained to him what was the real definition of Judgment Day. I happen to agree with him that they all believe that there were no leaders in the Judgment Day. It's all about voting in and just going with the flow, right? Don't hold nobody back and everything else. It's the reason why they got rid of Edge. But then all of a sudden, since Damian Priest became the world champion, he's almost trying to be a leader. And we've seen that already.
Yeah,
Or
but
was it?
well, hold on a minute. Hold on, because
Mm-hmm.
when Rhea Ripley had the title, she was pretty much the leader of it. It wasn't as pronounced as Damian Priest was doing, But Rhea Ripley was doing the same thing. She was calling the shots.
So the titles change on them. Does that define that they change to their appearance because they're the champion that they have to lead?
It shouldn't. But once you get a little bit of gold under your belt, you start walking with that chip on your shoulder, saying, "Hey, no one could touch me." And you just, the champion has to lead, regardless of where they're at. Okay, and I think that's what happened with Damian Priest. That he felt that he had to lead, so he started leading. And even though Judgment Day was never built to have a leader,
Mm-hmm.
somebody at some point has to call a shot somewhere. You just can't have the inmates run the asylum all the time.
Let's put it this way. Um, how about egos? Could egos play a big role in this?
Absolutely,
Okay.
absolutely. Maybe Finn Balor was jealous of Damian Priest having the title.
Right, because Finn Balor lost the opportunity so many times. And
Mhm.
remember, Damian Priest was holding on the briefcase, but I mean, not Finn Balor, Damian Priest, excuse me. But
Mhm.
Damian Priest promised he would never cash in on him if he was a champion, which kind of similar to what's going to happen in SmackDown. We'll talk about that later. Um,
Yeah,
but look, you got Finn Balor. JD McDonough was always going to be with Finn Balor, and let's
right.
let's remind everything how everything developed. Damian Priest was not a big fan of JD McDonough. McDonough had to earn their way into Judgment Day. Carlito was never part of the group. Dominic Mysterio was there because of Rhea Ripley. Okay. And then everything went south from there, right? Dominic Mysterio can't win a match. He can't do this, can't do that. And he had to have help. He had help winning the North American title. He had help defeating his father,
Waller.
and there's just a laundry list of things that Dominic Mysterio has always messed up and had a lot of WWE fans believing that Dominic Mysterio was the guy that was going to be ousted out of the group. But however, let me ask you this now. Now that we see Carlito, JD McDonough, Finn Balor, Dominic Mysterio, and Liv Morgan, now they're a group. They are a faction. They're the 2.0 of the Judgment Day. On the other side of Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley, who else could support them against Judgment Day? Any takers?
I don't think you got many people because they pissed off a lot of people.
True.
So who knows? I mean, who knows who might decide to help them out?
Well, let's put it this way. What about Braun Strowman? I mean, technically nobody got involved between Braun Strowman and Damian Priest. It was a fair match, one on one. That could be a good person to have by your side to build a new faction.
It would be, but I don't see that happening because Damian Priest was always sending the orders. Hey, we got to take care of Braun Strowman. We got to take care of Braun Strowman. So
True, true, but now there's a big difference now. Now, I mean, you could always find a way to make amends of any issues.
yeah,
You
you
could
can.
problem solve things to where, okay, this is what happened, but let's move forward. I mean, we've seen it with Seth Rollins and what's his name and Roman Reigns from before. Until then, it wasn't again. You know what I mean? It goes back and forth. It's
Yeah,
like a big soap opera, right?
yeah.
So,
Hey, listen, the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
okay,
So
true. But who else? Who else were against the Judgment Day? I mean, there's got to be a list.
I think you had everybody at one point. I believe you had the New Day against him at one point.
Yeah, but the New Day is already dealing with
Yeah,
another faction,
yeah,
the Final Testament.
yeah.
Yep. So that leaves them out. Who else? Let's start recruiting people. I say Braun Strowman. I won't say Bronson Reed because he's very selfish.
Yeah,
Um,
Bronson Reed, no, no.
nah. Ija Dragunov won't be the guy because of the fact that he's probably going to chase the Intercontinental Championship.
Hmm.
Jay Uso and what's his name?
Maybe,
Sami Zayn, because Jay Uso wants
maybe.
some. He wants the digits of Rhea Ripley.
Yeah, he
He wa-
wants to
he still want.
yeet.
He wants to take him to the Waffle House.
Yeah, that could be a possibility. Because
Right.
remember, they're talking about going for the championship.
Tag team titles, and what better than
So
having allowing them to open that doorway to get those titles? Absolutely. But hey, more to follow on that. Let's go ahead and move on to the White Six. They made their debut on Monday Night Raw, and all the storylines and everything. Hey, it's finally over. We got our understanding as to what it mean to be in the White Six, and of course, I am so happy that they did not change the theme song. And it just reminds me of Bray Wyatt every time I hear it, and I hope it continues, man, because man, he is so missed.
I mean, yeah, no, he is. I mean, if you look at that match was a tribute to Bray Wyatt. Everything they were doing, certain moves here and there, was a tribute to him. So to me, I was like, oh my God, this is awesome. I mean, I loved it. And the fact that you have Uncle Howard, which is Bo Dallas, as we know, his brother
Right.
leading the pack, who else do you want to do that? Who else will make that legacy live on?
Yeah.
Canada.
Uh, I think they need one more person in that group.
They're not going to have it.
You know why? I'm gonna tell you who. If it plays out well, why not Alexa Bliss join that group and her and Nikki Cross take the tag team titles?
That would could play out.
It's just a saying. I'm not saying it's gonna happen. And who knows if Alexa
Well, because
Bliss is gonna come back too.
She was part of it. You
Yes,
know,
exactly. Exactly. But hey, I enjoyed it. I'm glad that was the main event. I hope that the story is over between them and Chad Gable and the Crew brothers. I think that was the perfect opponent for them to debut. But when we talk about family and everything else, I wouldn't be surprised the Wyatts go after the Judgment Day.
that would be great.
That probably will happen after all that chaos is over between Judgment Day and Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley, because I could see a ripple effect on that one. Um,
Yeah,
but moving on to Odyssey Jones, who debuted Monday Night Raw by helping the New Day versus the Final Testament. And right there, I'm going to tell you, I miss Biggie.
yep.
The first thing that came to my mouth, matter of fact, my son was telling me, oh man, that means Big E's not coming back. And I go, yeah, he's probably not coming back because of his neck, his spinal cord and everything else.
Well,
So
yeah,
that's the risk.
said it. He said it from a while ago that he wasn't coming back.
Mm. But there's always that possibility. Like Edge wasn't supposed to come back, but he did,
Yeah,
you know. And if the science and everything else that's happening, that will be pretty much very, very, who knows? It could be very known that with the proper surgery and everything else that he get healed. But then again, yeah, it is a risk. It really is. And
yeah. And I think
luckily
he's
enough
not
that
willing to take
Biggie
that
didn't
risk.
get
To be
paralyzed.
honest,
Hmm.
I
But
think he
Odyssey
said
Jones
that he's
fits,
not coming
man.
back.
Say again.
I think he said that he's not coming back,
Mm.
or at least not to wrestle. I think he has said it.
But he does appear on the kickoff shows and stuff like that. So
Right?
he's still doing his thing. Who knows? Maybe we could see him produce something. That'd be
Maybe.
pretty awesome. A lot of superstars that get injured end up being producers.
Yeah.
So yeah. But Odyssey Jones, awesome. That dude is huge. That
I
dude
didn't
is
know who he
huge.
is.
He manhandled Karrion Cross, bro. Oh my god. Um,
Dude, he manhandled everybody.
He was handling business at NXT. So I know. I know. Um, moving on, another faction. It seems like there's a lot of factions going on here in the WWE.
Yeah.
But Sonya Deville, Zoe Stark, and Shayna Baszler went ahead and assaulted Lyra Valkyria in a match where Lyra and Sonya Deville were going one on one,
Hmm.
and things weren't going the way Sonya wanted, so they interfered. But then comes Damage Control, and Damage Control, their goal is to be the best faction in WWE. Yeah, they dominated SmackDown with Bailey, but never since Bailey been ousted out of the group, Damage Control went on and moved over to Raw. And finally, they're getting together, minus Asuka. Asuka's still dealing with injury. But now there's been a whole mix up, and everything's centered around Lyra Valkyria.
She's a hot topic right now, man. She's a hot tamale.
I
You
think
know,
she's going to outshine more than Becky Lynch, to be honest with you.
possibly, possibly. She. I mean, I wasn't for. To be honest, I wasn't really sold on her at first. But she's she's moving her way up my list. I'll tell you that much.
Well, she had an awesome match against Becky Lynch in NXT. And
Yeah.
the fact that now, like, I would love to see a dream match in the main roster between Lyra Valkyria and Tiffany Stratton. I would love to
Tipping
see those
time.
two. Yes. But other than that, I mean, it's interesting to see which direction Sonya, Zoe, and Shayna will go, because it's almost like they're um what is that name that I'm looking for?
Three
What's those
L's, three
wrestlers?
losers.
Right. I mean, in other words, like they always find a way to lose, knowing that they're more potential to go ahead and win. I even forgot my vocabulary words on this one. All right, it'll probably come back to me later. But anyways, it seems like we're gonna have a 6-woman tag team between Sonya Zone and Shayna and Damage Control, 3-on-3, and then find out which leaders of both of those groups will go against each other. And my money is Io Sky is taking lead and taking charge of Damage Control.
Maybe Lyra Valkyria might join Damage Control. Just saying.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I hope not. I think Lyra should step back, and then because she had the other tag teams with him, Katana Chance and
True.
her partner, right? Which
Yes.
I'm not even sold on them. I don't even look
I'm.
at them as a
I
team.
haven't been sold on them at all.
Yeah, none, none. But this is what I'm sold on right now: Gunther versus Randy Orton for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship at the Bash of Berlin. That's the only official match right now, and they just caught me by surprise because of the fact that Randy Orton was in SmackDown. Now he moves over to Raw, and then it brings me back to the conversation I had with Hector. It's like it's all dandy having the WWE draft because of the NFL that same week, right? However, is that these superstars will bounce around anyway. And this is a great opportunity, a great invitation because of the fact that Gunther has never pinned Randy Orton. On the King of the Ring tournament in the
Hmm.
finals, Randy Orton did not have both shoulders on the mat.
No,
And
he did
yet it
not.
was awarded to Gunther. Now Gunther's the world champion. Randy Orton's coming over to Raw. I just feel disappointed because of the fact that, dude, Gunther has just won this title. How does he lose this title? It's just not happening. Not this guy.
I don't see that happening, especially in
Ludwig
the.
is gonna find a way to intervene. Honestly, I don't. I just and it's sad because I would love to see Randy Orton be a world champion again. I really do.
But I don't see it with Gunther right now.
No, no,
I mean, I
no.
think I think we will see him, but not this soon.
I thought he would have a better chance against Cody Rhodes,
Yeah.
but I mean, he kept staring at the belt a couple of times. But is it because the message was, "Hey, I'm going to Raw to take that belt"?
Or
Maybe
maybe it's hey,
this will change
Roman
Randy
Reigns
Orton.
came back. Maybe it's Roman Reigns came back and he's gonna go after his belt back again eventually.
Man, it's
So
just
that
a lot of
match
possibilities.
between Cody Rhodes and Randy Orton would not have made sense.
Well, Randy Orton and its chance to become a 15-time world champion it's a far stretch, to be honest with you.
It
And
is,
I would
at
love
least
to
not
have
right
Randy
now.
Orton.
I think Gunther's gonna have this title at least until WrestleMania.
Hmm. So we're talking about WrestleMania. Is it does this mean that John Cena will face Gunther? Just saying. Just saying.
I
I don't
hope
know.
not.
I'm just throwing things out there. I am. But more to follow on this. It's official. Gunther versus Randy Orton. It's just like this one's gonna be predictable that Gunther's gonna retain as a champion, especially being at Bash at Berlin, or this could result into a feud to carry on for Bad Blood, which is gonna be held in Atlanta. So I'm digging it. I'm digging it. Uh, let's talk about the Queen. The Queen, not Nia, Nia Jax or Nia Jax, Nia Jax, right? Yeah,
Nia
same
Jax.
thing. Yeah. Um, she is now the new world champion.
Oh, oh, you gotta put what Mike
Mhm.
has put on there. I'm calling
Oh,
it now.
oh,
Brock's gonna get that belt from Gunther. I don't see that one happening, Mike. Sorry.
I don't see that either. I don't. I don't. You
That
know
would
what
be
I like
great
to
to
see?
see, but I doubt it.
Hold on. Let's stick with this topic real quick before we move on. Mike, big shout out to you. Thank you for supporting the HHW Show podcast. He says, I'm calling out Brock gonna get that belt from Gunther. Um, it just there hasn't been any entertainment, no, there hasn't been any message or any possibility of Brock Lesnar returning to the WWE. Now, if that was the case, it just wouldn't make sense for him to come out of nowhere and go on Raw, knowing that could we see something with Paul Heyman? I don't know.
I don't think so
it's
because
just
I think
an
Paul
idea.
Heyman's going to be tied in with Roman Reigns,
But what's the possibility of I don't know
having both of them because they're both on different brands.
going against the bloodline? I don't know. It's just I'm just throwing it out there. But let's say if Brock Lesnar does come to Raw, um, he would have to do it to interfere with the match and F5 the hell out of Gunther. But then that will only be watch this. That will only be to elevate Gunther as a higher champion, not to win the title.
I think so. I don't. Number one, I don't see Brock coming back.
Well, Triple H did say that he's always open to business should Brock does want to return.
No,
So
that's
I
fine.
cannot
But
leave
the
that out
thing
of
is,
the table.
do you see
Mhm.
him to come back to beat Gunther?
I want, like I said, not to be for me, in my opinion. I think it's to elevate Gunther even more.
Right. But do
But
we really want
what,
Gunther to
what
be?
would you rather see, Brock Lesnar versus Gunther or Brock Lesnar versus Braun Breaker?
I. Ooh, Braun Breaker, I think will be a.
Let's go, Mike. Let's go, Mike. We'll say something else.
I think Braun Breaker will be a better match.
Oh, just saying. I mean, I think so.
There it is,
Oh,
Breaker.
there. Yeah. Okay. You're welcome. You're welcome. All right. Okay. But that's a great conversation to have. Really, that's a good dream match, especially with the scandal that happened, the possibility of Brock Lesnar coming to for the Royal Rumble to not be in the Royal Rumble, to get Braun Breaker into that situation. That'll be a great storyline, and the fact that I've never seen Brock Lesnar hold the Intercontinental Championship. If there's anything that Brock Lesnar could win, could be that belt. And then
He's
that could
never
be a
had the,
feud between
the, the
both of them.
IC title.
I don't think so. Let me go ahead and look it up real quick, in my data here. Um, I don't think that Brock Lesnar has ever been an Intercontinental Champion. Let me see. Correct me if I'm wrong. I mean, again, I could make mistakes on this one. Let's see. I'm scrolling.
I
I'm
think he has.
scrolling. I'm scrolling. I am scrolling. All right, here we go. Are you ready? So he has never been an Intercontinental Champion. He's been a 7-time World Heavyweight Champion and a 3-time Universal Champion. He's been a King of the Ring, Royal Rumble, and the Men's Money in the Bank. Other than that, he's considered really the 10-time World Champion in the WWE, but never held. He hasn't even held the United States title.
No, he never held those mid card titles.
Mm-mm. Because he was never a mid-court type of athlete.
True.
He's never felt like Braun Strowman has. So, yeah, yeah. Big shout out also to Kathleen Bohr. I hope I said your name right. Um, Appreciate you commenting on the HHW Show podcast. But let's move on real quick to our original story here. Nia Jax as the world women's champion on SmackDown, and then you have the Money in the Bank winner, Tiffany Stratton. And listen, they're friends, but there's history to where Nia Jax really doesn't have friends. It's just the friendship never lasts. So, and I'm gonna ask you this: do you think that Tiffany Stratton, between now and the end of the year, cash in her briefcase on Nia Jax, or she can move over to Raw and cash in on Liv
Absolutely,
Morgan?
she will cash in on Jax. I think she will. Look at the last couple matches where she's gone to the ring with the not the belt, with the briefcase, with
Mhm.
intentions to cash it. She did that at SummerSlam.
But Nia Jax ended up changing it and gave her a brand new one.
Watch, it's gonna happen.
It's a nice Money in the Bank briefcase,
It's a
and
real nice Money in the
yeah.
Bank briefcase. It, that pink matches her top, matches her bottom.
Oh
All right,
yeah.
yeah, great. It's beautiful. She's gonna get the title from Nia Jax. I don't see Jax being a champion for a long time.
No,
Does
no,
she
no.
deserve the title? Yes, because she's never held it. But think about it, how long she's been in the WWE. That she's never had the title, and now she's gotten it. You know
Well,
what?
she's
She's
been a
not gonna be
champion
around.
before. Nia Jax
Huh?
been a champion.
Yes, she has, but she's never held it that long.
No, no, she hasn't.
Okay, and
Um,
that's what's gonna happen to her again.
but her beef with Minchin,
Yes,
maybe with Naomi, there's a lot going through to see who's going to compete against Nia Jax and who will benefit more. That Tiffany looking from the outside to see when she will get that opportunity, or will we wait for an audible from Triple H and be like, hey, we're gonna need you in Raw here. But it will make sense sometime in October, because in October the SmackDown moves back to USA. So they're
hmm,
gonna need something to get the viewers in there. And why not wait until the first episode of SmackDown on the USA channel and make that happen?
possibly.
But if she holds off a lot longer, possibility Tiffy Time could be on Netflix, which is scheduled in
Possibility.
January. Now she
Possibly.
got all the way till July 1st to cash in the Money in the Bank briefcase. So
Correct.
she got plenty of time. And we've seen that longevity with Damian Priest. We just never seen the longevity of a woman holding on to the Money in the Bank briefcase for that long.
Because the women are impatient.
I think Tiffy Time, there's a reason why she has the clock. She got the Tiffy Time going. So but Mike says that yeah, she's gonna cash in on Jax. We'll see. I mean, Nia Jax could lose the title and then get upset about it and then tell Tiffy go ahead and cash it in. That could be another possibility.
Yeah.
Um, Moving on, other storylines. Andrade defeated Carmelo Anthony last Friday on SmackDown, and man, I don't think this story is going to change. I think Carmelo Anthony will do whatever he got to take to get a victory over Andrade, but he has no answer.
No.
And we could go back to when he debuted and Bobby Lashley's trying to give him advice, and Carmelo Anthony just brushed him off. And I think his ego is getting in the way, and that's why he's losing these matches.
But isn't that what happened in NXT too? His ego.
Um, but he had formulated a little small faction, I guess, with Trey. Um, but again, he's done a lot on his own. I mean, this guy, he got what it takes to become a champion.
Hmm.
The question is when, right?
Right.
And but then let's forget about him already because he's been losing a lot. But let's focus on Andrade. Andrade is already winning, and he's on a hot streak. He is the WWE Speed Champion. Could he get an opportunity to go against LA Knight for the United States Championship?
Yeah. Yeah. I think so. I
I
mean,
think
why
I,
not?
I think that I think that to start a rivalry between them two will be awesome.
Yeah, I think so too. I think it's gonna. I mean, they're both high strung. They both have high egos. Okay, I think LA Knight might be a little bit more powerful than Andrade,
Hmm.
but I think that's gonna make a really good match for them.
But there's something about
Yeah,
uh
Carmelo Hayes. Yeah,
oh
we know. We get.
did I mess up?
Yeah, you did.
I said Carmelo Anthony, the NBA player. My bad. Carmelo Hayes. Thank you, Mike. Thank you so much. See, you know what? He should have been my producer. Anyhow,
I knew
um,
the name was wrong. I just couldn't remember the last name, so I
yeah.
was sorry
Well,
about
hey,
it.
we'll move on. That I'm definitely gonna correct myself on this. Um, Another story, and look, Andrade almost sounds like he is like a mafia type dude, like those Colombia warlords or the Mexican cartel type deal.
That sounds better.
He's like in that phase of what, pretty soon he's gonna be a leader or something. Um,
Exactly.
but he's on the same side with the same SmackDown with Santo Escobar and the Legado del Fantasma. So they don't like each other.
Nope.
They never have. So imagine they clash and not LA Knight. Like there's just somewhere down the line they got to crash with one another.
I believe they have.
But you got Apollo Cruz and Baron Corbin tag team, and the Galo de Fantasma, they outnumbered them.
Hmm.
I'm just saying that could be a possibility that
A
you
three on
know
three.
he'll join with them with Cruz and Corbin to even the playing field.
Mm, I don't see that happening. I don't see that happening because Andrade is he's a loner.
Yeah, he's alone, but he don't take any smack from anyone. You know what I mean? He does have the respect for other superstars. The person he didn't respect was Dominic Mysterio when he was trying to be with the group, but he wasn't having it to where he didn't see eye to eye with Judgment Day.
Right.
He don't like when people disrespect others, especially disrespecting the elders. You
Absolutely.
know. Now he could be there for one fight. I'm not saying that they're gonna be like together all the time, but it would be pretty nice to see Santos Escobar versus Andrade. That'd be a great dream match there. Or they could possibly do it again, do it in on Wednesdays for WWE Speed. That could be a strong possibility. But on this
Possible.
one and this Apollo Cruz and Baron Corbin, I think what's going to boil down to is, yeah, they could go ahead and defeat Legado del Fantasma. And Santo Escobar is the leader who is winning. But Santo Escobar at one point is going to have to say to himself, yo, my team sucks because they never win anything.
They don't.
That's got to be frustrating.
They don't. They
He
don't.
need a replacement quick.
Garza and what's his name? Uh, Carrillo, right? Carrillo,
Yeah.
whatever.
Hmm.
They can't win crap. They
No.
haven't won crap in months.
Jobbers. That's the name I was looking for from the
The
beginning.
jobbers.
Jobbers.
Yes.
Yeah, they just jobbers, man. And they're not really the legit tag teams like the
No, they
Street
are.
Profits.
They've been attacking for a long time.
No, but they don't win anything. They
Fine.
don't
They're
win anything
jobbers.
in the main
They're
roster.
attacking jobbers.
Yeah, there you go. Let's fast forward to Logan Paul being defeated by LA Knight. You can see a picture there that he is reflecting to his loss, seeing himself getting pinned. Um, man, that's gotta be hard, dude. That's gotta be hard to lose something that you try to achieve and try to be the longest reigning champion, and it just come out short. That gotta hurt,
You know what?
honestly.
I'm glad he lost. I thought it was about time. When you look at it, he's only had two title defenses, I believe, two or three tops. Okay,
Yeah,
so you know what? I'm glad you lost. You weren't a fighting champion. Since he won it, he barely fought. Get the hell out of here.
but you gotta give him credit though. That he
I
could
give him
wrestle.
credit. He's
He could
come a
wrestle.
long way from when
Oh,
he
I
first
mean, he hasn't
debuted.
really done much of a long way. It's not like he started from the bottom. I mean, his fame got him right there as a celebrity, but he
Yeah,
took it
but
probably way better than Bad Bunny took it.
obviously, he did. I mean, I think he's a much better wrestler.
Yeah.
All right,
Hmm.
but at the end of the day, he wasn't fighting enough.
Yeah.
You
Well,
know,
here's a new update, and the update was on social media that Logan Paul is trying to file a lawsuit to LA Knight for what he did in his vehicle on SmackDown.
oh
And
yeah.
the charges are theft and property damage. So, one, he stole it, and two, he damaged the vehicle. Um, and LA Knight be like, yeah, I don't know how far this will go, or would it be to a point where the United States Championship will be on the line again?
Oh,
Or will
bro,
they strip it, or there'll be a penalties or
I could
something.
just see this happening. You either go to jail and serve time, or you give me your title.
Uh
Dude, if that happens, I'm done. I'm done watching.
did Stone
I
Cold ever go to jail? And in WWE, Stone Cold Steve Austin?
I don't remember.
I don't remember either. But the only thing I remember of Stone Cold is him against Booker T in the grocery store.
Yes,
That stood out the most, right?
that is one of
But
the most infamous matches there is.
I thought I was gonna see something similar with LA Knight going to Logan Paul's house and then, handle his business. However, that didn't happen. Um, but yeah, so be prepared for a lawsuit happening on SmackDown should Logan Paul make his appearance, because it's make it or break it for him. But we always know that Logan Paul is also doing things outside of WWE, and that's one of the reasons why he's not always on TV. Bianca Belair, Jade Cargill, they were trying to get the women's tag team championship. Alba Fire, Isla Dawn are the women's tag team champions. However, it just seems that when Belair and Cargill had an upper hand, that Blair Davenport jumped in to not only cause a disqualification, but with the disqualification, Fire and Dawn keep the tag team titles. My question for you is, look, Blair Davenport got issues with Naomi. Okay. She continues to sneak attack on her. However, in this portion here, where was Naomi when Belair and Cargill were getting jumped? They were outnumbered 3-2.
She was hanging out somewhere.
That's not good.
No, it's not.
Now, I'm gonna tell you right now that this is something you can add in case Naomi, Belair, and Cargill get a little friction with one another. Okay. But maybe we'll hear toward the next episode, like Naomi be like, yo, I got your back. Let's go. Let's go get them and make it 3-on-3. But the case is that Naomi wasn't there. and they're supposed to be girls. They're supposed to back each other up.
Hmm.
Why wasn't Naomi there? That is the biggest question. No one's talking about it. I feel like that's a major issue right there.
Maybe Naomi decided to take the day off and go hang out with Jimmy. Who knows? You know,
I'm curious to see which direction this goes to. And to be honest with you, I'm not really a big fan of Belair and Cargill as tag teams. Maybe it's because I'd rather see them two as a singles competitor, and I'm still waiting to see if Belair versus Cargill would ever happen.
that would be awesome to watch. I just think that Cargill's not ready to be a singles wrestler.
That's a point there. Maybe she is not ready. Yeah. All right. We're almost closing up with our show, and I love to ask questions. Love to ask questions. So here we go. We're gonna acknowledge all the champions. Some we already know the answers to. So, but right now we don't know the answer to this. We're gonna have to find out on SmackDown. And the question is: Cody Rhodes won at SummerSlam, getting ready for the Bash of Berlin. Who will be Cody Rhodes' next opponent?
No flipping clue.
Oh man, it's got to be clues, man. You got to take a guess at this. Could we
Owens.
see?
I don't know.
Nah, not Kevin Owens. I don't see it. Not Kevin Owens. Really? You
I mean,
think
it
he'll turn
definitely
his
can't be.
back?
It's definitely not going to be. Roman Reigns. It's not going to be Solo.
I don't think any bloodline is going to be in
I don't
it.
think
And
it'll
I
be the
thought
bloodline.
Randy Orton was going to be the guy, but eventually he went on Raw, so that cancels that out. Um, would Shinsuke Nakamura come out of nowhere?
Nah,
I know it don't make no sense. Will Logan Paul go against Cody Rhodes?
that might be a possibility.
I mean, you did mention Kevin Owens. I mean, that'll probably be respectful. Or what about Grayson Waller or Austin Theory? Just for shits and giggles. I think that would definitely
I think
for
I rather.
Austin Theory
I
to
think I'd rather
wanting
see Austin Theory. To be honest,
that will definitely cause a chaos between the two, and we could see them eventually split up.
I'd rather see Austin Theory.
Grayson Waller, he's a hell of a wrestler too, man. Um, but I'm looking, or I know there's reports about Bobby Lashley leaving the WWE once his stuff is expired, his contract. However, there's rumors that he might end up going to AEW, and because of the fact that the Hurt Business they wanted to bring it back, but Triple H doesn't want it, so it's just something out there. But that'll be pretty badass to see Bobby Lashley surprise everybody and show up. I would like that, but he's still listed on the roster. He's still listed in there. Uh, Gunther will already challenge Randy Orton for the World Heavyweight Championship. So that question is answered. Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley is not over. There will definitely some way, somehow, those two will tangle. And at the Bash of Berlin, it'll be Morgan versus Ripley for the title. And again, being that it's a new form of Judgment Day, they would definitely support one another. Definitely. Moving on to Nia Jax. Who is next? Who is next? Really? I don't know who's next in SmackDown. I know I mentioned Minchin for a second, but will Bailey get a rematch? What do you think?
Bailey, I think we'll get a rematch.
Well, you
I think
tapping
she
away
will.
like you researching something over there.
No, no, no.
I
But I
don't
think
know.
Bailey will get a rematch.
I don't see anybody on SmackDown roster who can be a challenge for Cody. Okay, granted. Well, let's go back to Cody Rhodes for a second. Randy Orton ended up going to Raw to go ahead and face Gunther. So my question to you is, would anyone from Raw go to SmackDown and challenge Cody Rhodes?
I mean, bro, if anything, no, I don't even know who.
Yeah. That is the question, man. If you got an answer, ladies and gentlemen, by all means, let me know. Put it in the text, put it in the message here, and everything else. But duly noted. Okay. Let's go ahead and move on to Braun Breaker. Eventually, Sami Zayn already announced that he was able to get a rematch against Sami Zayn and Braun Breaker, right? However, Sami Zayn did give and acknowledge Egypt Dragunov that one day he will become champion. Now, we already saw what Braun Breaker did to Dragunov. We've already seen the rematch between Breaker and Sami Zayn. Neither one of them stand a chance to go after Braun Breaker. Okay, so if anything, should them two separately have a match with Braun Breaker, that's like 2 wins right there. 2 defense titles, already victories for Braun Breaker. Now, we mentioned earlier in the show, what if Brock Lesnar shows up? That would have been a dream match, right? Well, it wouldn't make sense anytime now, just because there is no major event in the WWE. Remind you, the major events, maybe it was the Survivor Series. All right. Maybe by Thanksgiving weekend, we could see that happen. That's a major event. Or we could see it at the Royal Rumble. Or could it be a WrestleMania? Those are the areas where we could probably see Brock Lesnar come back and maybe see him versus Braun Breaker. Maybe. That's a big maybe. But, or could we see Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed? That'd be a pretty much a great heavyweight match. I really would enjoy that. Okay. More comments here. I want to see Ricochet get back or get back. Wow. Well, I mean, Ricochet will have to be signed with WWE because right now he is not signed with WWE. He does not have a contract, and who knows where he could go. I mean, it'll be a disappointment if Ricochet will go to another wrestling promotion. I already seen that done with other superstars trying to make the claim. Um, I saw Jinder Mahal here a couple of weeks ago. I also seen Mustafa Ali come back in the wrestling promos, and they're doing their tour and stuff like that. So it's kind of hard to sell on that one. Who is next for LA Knight? Or will we continue seeing him versus Logan Paul for the title? I definitely like Andrade on this one, but then again, it could be somebody else. And then the Judgment Day. Who is the next tag teams that could confront the Judgment Day? It seems like their storyline is drifted away of them defending the tag team titles because it looks like Finn Balor is the man now in Judgment Day. They're talking about a group that don't have leaders, but it looks like the face of Judgment Day is Finn Balor. And for Liv Morgan, it's almost like she took a step back from the whole entire front run that she did for her revenge tour. It's kind of crazy how that happened, huh? Just duly noted here for that. And then the bloodline. We didn't even talk about the bloodline that much. We know we talked about Roman Reigns and everything else, but Jacob Fatu apparently is injured. Remember that he took flight on top of the ropes and landed on Cody Rhodes that broke the table. But when he turned around, he was holding his leg. Possible leg injury, right? Could it be that these tag team titles will be relinquished? Or would the bloodline, the so-called wannabe tribal chief, have something else in his sleeve? Now, you ever wonder why Tungaloa hasn't been wrestling with the bloodline? We never talked about him. So I'm going to tell you right now, if you looked at the couple of scenarios or a couple of times that Tungaloa ended up wrestling or trying to interfere with things, it's almost looking like he always botches. Like he's the weakest link of the whole entire bloodline. Yeah, he acts tough and everything else, but he's really hasn't done anything in the ring that's impressive. Not like Tamatonga and Jacob Fato, man, he's beast mode. But if he is injured, who's going to defend those titles? Are they going to bring back the one-eyed Tungaloa? Or will Solo Sikoa use the Freebird rule and ended up helping Tamatonga defend those titles? Or could we possibly see in the future avoiding the tag team titles to where Jey Uso and Sami Zayn get their hands tied on that? I don't know. There's a lot of possibilities here. But everything will revolve around Roman Reigns when it comes to bloodline issues, bloodline comments, bloodline maneuvers, bloodline really rules SmackDown. That's basically what's happening right here. Okay. What is next for the bloodline? Who's going to get the shot at those tag team titles? Is DIY going to want a rematch? Because I'm going to tell you right now, don't do it, DIY. Don't do it. You're going to embarrass yourself. If Jacko Fatu is 100%, there's no way that any of the DIY is going to make this happen. No. Are we bringing back the Street Profits for a title match? Like on the Fantasma, the weakest of the tag team? No, hell no. Absolutely not. Okay? But there ain't that much tag teams, is there?
I got this.
Go ahead.
Watch this. All right. So we have Randy Orton, right? Randy
you
Orton,
don't.
Randy Orton went to Raw, right?
Mm-hmm.
Why not now? What's going to end up happening? Randy Orton counts for two superstars. You have Jey Uso and Sami Zayn go over to Raw and challenge for those titles.
No, you mean going over to SmackDown?
I'm sorry, yes, going over to SmackDown. My
Yeah,
bad.
I mentioned that. I mean, I know you just came in and everything
Sorry,
else,
I
but
stepped out for a minute.
right. But remember this, we also talked about to where they might go after the World Tag Team titles that's on Raw.
True.
So in a sense, Jey Uso and Sami Zayn, I just don't think that they will go to SmackDown because they got their eyes on the prize on the tag team titles, possibly joining with. We all think that they're going to join the Bloodline, but what if that's not the case and that they join Damian Priest and Rhea Ripley? They want us to believe they're going to the Bloodline, but what if Roman Reigns already have people for him to build the Bloodline again?
Time will tell.
Yes, time will definitely tell. Yep. And you know what? This is probably the best thing in wrestling right now is that there is so many possibilities and this new era of WWE with under Triple H, and everyone's talking about it. Everyone has something different to say, and it all makes sense, right? We all have opinions. We all have beliefs. We could predict so many possibilities, and we just have to sit and wait to see if will those possibilities happen or will something else happen that would shock us, right?
Absolutely.
And I'm telling you what, man, I am really staying away from others that think that they know it. You know, like these I won't say about these so-called journalists of professional wrestling. I'm staying away, man. Because what they say or what they ask is totally different. And Triple H, every time he has a meeting, always shoots it down. You know what I mean? It was like he got that face expression, like, what? You know what I mean? Like, oh hell no. So that's why I feel like it's always important to stay tuned to the press conference of WWE because that is where you get all your answers from.
Absolutely.
Yes. Before I go, my top 25, and those of you that haven't listened to the top 25 or even the top 10, you could tune into Spotify and you could jam on to the theme music on Spotify, the HHW show, by all means, or any audio podcast that you can find yourself that's your favorite, and you could tune in and jam on to the theme music. But starting from 25 all the way to 1, I got the Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill, Chad Gable at 24. I got CM Punk at 23.
Wow.
Uh, and listen, and the point is that this is you got to wrestle in the premium live events. You could do a lot of acting, you could do it there, but you got to wrestle. You got to get wins, not just make appearances. So
True.
that's what it's based out of. Okay. Judgment Day. Oh, I forgot Naomi, the Unholy Union. Look, I got Naomi on top of the Unholy Union. And that's telling you that how many times they end up defending the titles. Kevin Owens at 18. The Bloodline, sorry, they're at 17. They could main event, they could like do their storytelling, but when it comes to wrestling, it's not all that. Um, but look, if you look at the top 5 right now, you agree to disagree. It's okay. Cody Rhodes, Drew McIntyre at number 2, Gunther, Liv Morgan, and Nia Jax. And Roman Reigns just popped up at number 6, just making his presence at SummerSlam. But a lot of that stuff was on hold because remember, the Universal Championship is really 2 belts. That's Raw and SmackDown put together. That has a lot of value than the World Heavyweight Championship, which just got established by Seth freaking Rollins, right? And it's changed hands how many times? It went from him to Drew McIntyre for a few minutes, Damian Priest, and now Gunther. Let's see what Gunther does with this championship run. Could it be equivalent to what he had done with the Intercontinental Championship? But other than that, you could go on hhwshow.com. You could click on rankings and you go ahead and make your comments. Do you agree or disagree with the top 25? And I definitely would love to hear more about your views. And we could share it here in our show every Thursday here on your favorite podcast platform, YouTube, live shows on YouTube, Facebook, and on Twitter. Go ahead, Frank.
No, for sure, definitely.
Definitely.
I mean, I don't agree completely with your top 25, but hey, it's all good.
That's all right. That's okay. I know we haven't done that in a while, but also on the website we established the Hall of Fame, and the number 1 person on the Hall of Fame, if you want to read into it, is Randy Orton. He is on there. And a brief message, man, because look, Randy Orton has done wonders for the show on SummerSlam. In my opinion, I think he's the number 1 wrestler in SummerSlam. Everyone could argue maybe the Undertaker, but I pick Undertaker for WrestleMania over SummerSlam, right? But the Hall of Fame is no other than for this year Randy Orton, because 1, he has appeared in 16 appearances. He's 8-7-1, but out of those appearances, 9 of them were for the World Championships. Okay. He won 3 World Championships. That means that as a contender, number 1 contender, 3 times he was the number 1 contender, and those 3 times he ended up winning those titles. So that's a lot. Okay. He also cashed in the Money in the Bank briefcase in SummerSlam. Remember that? Against Daniel Bryan. Well, of course, the assistant of Triple H. He defeated The Undertaker in 2005. And in 2003, Orton lost the World Heavyweight Championship Elimination Chamber match to where there were 6 superstars, but Triple H retained the title. He was the champion. So imagine that before the Elimination Chamber became a premium live event or pay-per-view, it was on, they had it for SummerSlam. So big ups to Randy Orton, and more to follow. Every time we have a premium live event, we'll establish a Hall of Fame for that event. But that's it, man. That wraps up our show. Any final thoughts, Frank?
Hey, I'm glad to be back for a full show, kind of. It's been a while, and Let's kick ass with wrestling. It's hot right now,
Absolutely.
man.
Oh man, it's definitely hot, and
Super
man,
hot.
it's gonna
So let's
it's gonna
keep it going.
continue. And one other thing before I let you go, Triple H did promise the WWE fans something big is gonna happen, huge than ever before by the end of the year. I don't know what that is, and I love the suspense, and he hasn't proven us wrong. So more to follow on that and much, much more here on the HHW Show podcast. Thank you for listening in to our show. Please subscribe to our channel, like us and everything else, share it with everybody. We just love some wrestling, man. Great conversations. Come back next week. Hopefully we got Hector with us and we'll see what's going on to the road of WWE Bash in Berlin. Thank you for watching. Gotta love some wrestling.